start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The prayer today, the start of 2026. Heavenly Father, as I stand in the last days of December, I choose to say thank you first. Thank you for not letting me walk this road alone. Lord, I pray for 2026 to be a year of renewal. Renew my heart, renew my choices, and renew my trust in you. Lord, I share this so more people can welcome the new season together. If God is good to you, praise him. Amen.
Morning, Commissioners. We'll start with item number 1. Happy New Year, everyone. I did not see anyone signed in on the sign-up sheet in the back. Does anybody wish to make a public comment on something relative to today's agenda? Okay. Good morning. Morning. Reporting on the financials, so item number 2 for December 23rd. I approved an appropriations transfer from the Treasurer's Office General Fund Other Expense account to their Medicare expense line item in order to finish processing payroll. I also processed a supplemental de-appropriation from the Juvenile Court to their Juvenile Recovery Fund in order to balance out the fund for year end. And that's all for item number 2. Moving on to item number 3, on December 29th, I concurred with the Hampden Township trustees in not requesting a hearing on the liquor license being requested by Webby Good LLC located at 13960 Rock Creek Road in Chardon, Ohio. This is an October renewal 09451396-1. And that's all I have for item number 3.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Adrian Gorton with the Commissioner's Office. Today's financials include an appropriations transfer and supplemental appropriations and de-appropriations to adjust accounts and funds to balance for final payroll and year-end, including the Juvenile Court, Community Development, and the County Engineer. There's also 2 revenue certifications. These are for 2026 from Common Pleas Court in their Community Corrections and One Ohio Foundation grant funds for additional unbudgeted revenue they expect to receive next year. And that's it.
Okay, thank you.
I move to approve the financials.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, and then the next item on the agenda is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the revised accounting forms authorization and payroll authorization forms for the Maintenance Department.
And that's just adding Rob since
Yes.
it's a new hire? Okay.
Yes.
I move to approve number 5.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, and then item number 6 on the agenda is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the letter of engagement with Squire, Patton, and Boggs for outside counsel for the year 2026 related to our bonds and filing of tax documents and for additional assistance for matters relating to a tax incentive. What does the F stand for? For community development tax-related documents in an amount not to exceed $8,550.
So
And this is for
okay.
our annual information filing for the bond issues that built this building. And then for any other community-related things like the tax incentive thing that went on for the Hartville Hardware in Middlefield and stuff like that. So we use them for various things like that that our prosecutor's office doesn't necessarily have the expertise in.
Yeah.
So.
One thing I was thinking about, Adrian, I know you've talked about the bond for this building and essentially the interest we pay on that is lower than the interest we receive in our investments. And so it doesn't make sense to pay off
At this time, yes.
at this
yeah.
building. And I assume this is correct, but I just wanted to confirm that when you look at those calculations, you also account for the fact that we have to hire an outside firm to handle the bond issue.
Oh, yeah. Our interest rates for this building are so low compared to the interest that we've been getting on our money in the bank. The only thing I would say that sometimes I feel is a hindrance to us is the fact that the larger of the two bonds is backed by the sales tax.
Yeah.
And that bars us from doing anything as far as tax relief to people through the sales tax. We can't change that. So
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, although it does seem like a lot of our sales tax comes from people outside the county.
yes, that's true as well. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, I mean, and we have, second lowest sales tax in the state. So
Yes.
It's not like we're
Yeah, we are among
Cuyahoga.
the lowest. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that explanation.
You're
I'll
welcome.
move to approve number 6.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Yes.
With your permission, I'd like to be able to do 7 and 8 together, as these are the auditor and treasurer
makes sense.
monthly financial statements. So number 7 is the auditor's office, and number 8 is the treasurer's office, is requesting the board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county auditor and the county treasurer for the months of July through November of 2025 pursuant to ORC 319.35.
I'll move to accept 7 and 8.
Second.
Approve, sorry.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Aiken.
That's that large pile right there.
Hi, good morning. Jessica Bolt, Department on Aging. I'm here this morning requesting the board to approve and execute the agreement between the commissioners and Charles P. Brayman and Company Incorporated for a fair market value appraisal for the Geauga County Public Library Administrative Building for a total of $4,450. The last appraisal was completed April 5th, 2024, and since then there has been some improvements to that building, such as a new roof, parking enhancements. The reason we chose to go with Charles P. Brayman and Company is they did complete an appraisal on the Chase building when the county was looking into that. It is a very thorough report. And upon review of the past appraisal completed by McGiffin and Company out of Concord, there is not as much detail that Ms. Hofstadter and Community Development and myself were satisfied with. So to get a very good fair market appraisal as the county moves forward with the purchase of that building, we would like to go with Charles P. Brayman and Company.
Jessica, how are we going to use this appraisal?
So I think it's appropriate to use the appraisal to make sure that we understand what the fair market value of the purchase is, and take a look at what we have agreed to pay the library to see if there's any distance between the two numbers, and if so, make a reasonable and just necessary agreement why it's needed, if there is any gap between the numbers.
And is it needed for the grant funding as well?
So the grant funding does ask for a recent appraisal, and I think that giving them an appraisal done before any enhancements is not the correct thing to do.
Very good. I'll move to approve number 9.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Austin Rice, EMA. I have line item number 10. This is requesting approval to accept the agreement between Vistra, in this case, but it's the Perry Nuclear Power Plant, and the Commissioners and the EMA. We've had an agreement with the power plant since it was built. That was with First Energy, then Energy Harbor, and now Vistra. This is the first agreement with Vistra, so it took a few months to negotiate what ended up being about the same thing, which was a basically 3% increase each year from the previous agreements, $262,000 and $270,000 for the following year. This will make up about 68%, 67 point something percent of our budget.
How do the terms and conditions compare and contrast with the prior agreement?
Sure. Actually, it was the previous contracts were a lot longer of a document. This is a lot shorter of a document. So that's one notable difference. But the prosecutor thought it was fine and looked over it. Obviously, we had to go back and forth a few times for a few lines here and there. But regardless, between the three counties here, because Vistra has to negotiate with all 6 nuclear counties in the state, between Lake Ashtabula and Geauga, we still get the most between those 3. So we're good there. Lake
Get the most money?
most money between those 3 counties.
Why?
From the plant. The difference between us and Lake being the host county, they have a lot less of a budget or money that they get, but they also have a Vistra employee full-time working out of their office.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's where the difference comes in from Lake.
I see.
Ashtabula and us, we just negotiated better, I guess. And we just keep rolling with that number. So
And this was approved by the prosecutor's office. I'm not seeing a sign off on it.
she did not sign off on it, but she didn't request. Laura didn't request a signature line on
Okay.
there for her. But yeah, that's actually Vistra didn't want any signature lines on there for the commissioners or anybody else. And that was like, well, no, we're going to have that on there. And so they didn't understand that. They're based out of Texas. They work differently with their counties, with their plants there, and that was a lot of the negotiating back and forth was just figuring out our system, you know.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
I'll move to approve number 10.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Good morning. Tim Karras, Geauga Family First Council Coordinator.
Christine Lacomiak, Board President of Family First.
We're here for item 11, the Department of Job and Family Services requesting the board approve and execute the Geauga County Family First Council Mutual Funding Agreement between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners, Geauga County Job and Family Services, Geauga County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Geauga County Board of Mental Health and Recovery Services for funding the Geauga County Family First Council for the period of January 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2026. This agreement commits the Board of County Commissioners to providing support payment of $29,739 from the general fund, which enables us to help our families.
So the only thing I wanted to make the commissioners aware of is that under House Bill 96, Family First Councils are now more optional. And so we as commissioners could actually dissolve the Family First Council by resolution. Now, I'm not suggesting that we do, don't get stressed out. I'm not suggesting we do that. But I bring that up just because, you know, if property taxes are eliminated and we need to think about what we statutorily need to provide, which versus we don't, that's something that statutorily we no longer have to fund.
Right.
So
It's certainly a conversation that I've had with Craig in particular, as they're the administrative agent, and I'm certainly well aware of.
yeah. No, I mean, and I think you're doing like I said,
Thank
you're
you.
doing valuable work. I'm not suggesting we defund you, but, you know.
Right.
That's the kind of thing
It's
we
part
could
of
be
the
looking
environment.
at.
Yes.
If property taxes went away.
Right.
So I'll move to approve number 11.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Charles Tekach, Maintenance Department. I have 2 items on the agenda, items 12 and 13. They're both related to the same project, which is the West Geauga Senior Center Condenser Upgrade Project. The first one is the Maintenance Department is requesting the board reject the bid submitted by Calvary Mechanical LLC for the West Geauga Senior Center Condenser Upgrade Project, as the bid form did not comply with the requirements of the invitation to bid, making it non-responsive.
And that was because it didn't have the lump sum breakdown, is that correct?
It didn't have the lump sum breakdown. It also didn't address the lead time for the chillers, which everyone else referred to 32 weeks, and they didn't mention that at all. So.
So I'll move to approve number 12.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Okay, and then item number 13 is the Maintenance Department is requesting the board award the bid to the John F. Gallagher Plumbing Company for the West Geauga Senior Center Condenser Upgrade Project in the amount of $327,900 as they represented the lowest and best bid.
And just so I remember this project, we're replacing 2 chillers, one of which was only 5 years old, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And we have added to the scope of work that we will resell that on GovDeals.
Oh, I
Yes.
missed that part.
Yes, so we did add that to the addendum at the pre-bid meeting as we talked about in the
Okay.
previous
Yeah, I
session.
think
Right.
Commissioner DeWar said that.
Right.
I mean, I still think that we should just keep that one 5-year-old chiller and just replace the older one. So I'm going to be voting no today, but not because I don't think it was the best bid.
Okay, is there a motion on 13?
I'll make the motion.
Second? Any more discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
No.
Commissioner DeWar.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Signatures for these.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nick Goris, Water Resources. Next 11 items on the agenda is our standard op for the beginning of the year with all of our miscellaneous service contracts. First one on the agenda is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract with Geauga Coatings to perform concrete leveling and coating services as needed at various locations for a 1-year period effective December 30th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
Okay. So, I mean, we could rock and roll through all of these 11 if that's all right with you gentlemen. But, I mean, of all of this, Nick, is there any that stand out of something that is a different vendor than last year, or you had, anything noteworthy?
So the biggest one to point out is item 19 on the agenda is the Business Incorporated. We've always had an agreement with Berggren and Associates. Business Incorporated basically is an umbrella that acquired the Berggren underneath their envelopes to provide bigger services around. So the business name hasn't been, if you go back in the record, you'll see Berggren, and they're the ones that if we have issues, emergency issues with some telemetry or controls are, not reporting with our VFDs, or we use them as an emergency call out.
I thought about voting no on that one just because I don't like the business name.
Right.
Bizno.
I know. So, yeah. The other one
I feel
is
like they could do better. They could workshop that.
come up with something. If you look at their website, it's pretty weak too. So,
But
other one that's
good
new.
service, right?
They do,
So that's what we need.
absolutely.
All right.
The other one is item 24 on the agenda, Independent Diesel Service. They're a new service contract. We identified them last year, actually with the help of our clerk. They were through a third, looking for a generator repair company. They were able to help us with some transfer switches. They're local, so it was nice to find somebody who can perform the services that our staff can't with the high voltage, and that was a big piece for us. And we actually want to expand because the relationship and their on-call timing, everything that we need because of the generators. We want to bring them on board as an on-call service.
So I'll move to approve 14 through 25.
Since, our meetings are recorded, could you read through 14 through 18?
I will, absolutely. 14 through 18?
Yeah,
or
because you said 19 and 24 is...
Okay, I just pointed out a couple of them. So,
Yeah.
All right, absolutely. I read 14. 15 is the Water Resources requesting the board approve and execute the service contract with Swift First Aid to perform refilling first aid kits at various locations within the department for a 1-year period effective December 30th, 2025, in the amount not to exceed $2,500. Next one is Water Resources requesting the board approve and execute a service contract with Tim Frank Septic Tank Cleaning Company to perform emergency sludge hauling and Vector services for the department for a 1-year period effective December 30th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $5,000. Next item is Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Workman Industrial Services Incorporated to perform emergency rehabilitation and improvements as needed at various wastewater locations within the department for a one-year period effective December 30th in an amount not to exceed $50,000. Next item is the Water Resources requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Auburn Fence Corporation to perform fence repair, replacement, and installation as needed at wastewater and water district buildings for the department for a one-year period effective December 30th in the amount not to exceed $15,000. The Department of Water Resources requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Business Incorporated to perform maintenance, service, and installation of all telemetry and control systems, including meter calibration at various wastewater and water district facilities for the department for a one-year period effective December 30th in the amount not to exceed $15,000. Item 20, the Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Buckeye Power Sales to perform generator services and repairs as needed at the wastewater and water district locations within the department for a one-year period effective December 30th in the amount not to exceed $20,000. Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute the service contract agreement with CUE Excavating Contractors, LLC, to perform general excavating services as needed at wastewater and water district locations within the department for a one-year period effective December 30th in the amount not to exceed $30,000. Department of Water Resources requesting the board approve and execute the service contract agreement with Emery Electric Incorporated to perform electrical repairs as needed at wastewater and water district locations within the department for a one-year period effective December 30th, 2025 in an amount not to exceed $45,000. The Department of Water Resources requesting the board approve and execute the service contract agreement with Geauga Door Sales and Service Incorporated to perform door repair services as needed at various wastewater and water district locations within the department for a one-year period effective December 30th in the amount not to exceed $10,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Independent Diesel Service Incorporated to perform generator repairs and maintenance as needed at various locations within the department for a one-year period, effective December 30th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $20,000. And finally, the Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Cleveland Tree and Stump to perform tree removal services at various wastewater and water district locations, including after storm damage for the department for a one-year period effective December 30th, 2025, in the amount not to exceed $25,000.
I already made the motion to approve.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart.
Thank you very much.
I have item number 26. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute change order number 16, increasing the contract with Infinity Construction Company Incorporated for the Geauga County Courthouse Expansion Project, GMP Phase 1 and Phase 2, by adding 84 days to the date of substantial completion through January 31st, 2026. So it was originally 8 November 2025, and it's mainly been extended due to the furniture and the fire monitoring services that we had to acquire.
So, maybe I don't want to ask this question. What happens if we vote no?
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's actually, from what I understand, no requirement to actually do this. It doesn't really affect anything in the contract. It was something that we felt better having on paper and in writing, having it done.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart.
Yes.
Item number 27 is requesting the board approve and execute resolution 25225 to conduct meetings, whether regular, special, or emergency, of the Board of Commissioners for the year 2026 at the office of the board in room B303 on the third floor of the Geauga County Office Building, 12611 Ravenwood Drive, Clarendon Township, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart. next item on the agenda is to hold a small work session to review items for the upcoming organizational meeting. So at this time, it is 9:55. We will move into our work session. This is for discussion purposes only. There will be no voting during this time. And then we will move back out of the work session to finish the regular meeting. So before each of you is a draft list for next Tuesday for the organizational meeting. I have some items that are highlighted. Obviously, the first is to appoint president and vice president for the year. Then we have the meeting schedule and meeting information for 2026 that sets where we're located. The change for this year is that the live streaming I've included in the list, and I will just need to get confirmation of how you want that link to look from ADP into the format for next year. And it encapsulates all of the notifications for meetings, when you can call meetings, and then how you can attend Township Association, CCAO, and any other meetings that are called for councils and boards that you sit on and attend those meetings. And then to also cover any groundbreakings, openings, celebrations, memorial services, parades, and things of that nature. And then the time, place, and purpose of any special meetings in addition to regular scheduled meetings is given at least 24 hours advance notice as required. Is there any comments or questions on any of that section?
One thing that Amy and I have discussed is doing a meeting at the new courthouse expansion, maybe before the ribbon cutting or after the ribbon cutting, some in conjunction with that. But I mean, we probably won't know that date yet until.
Right.
We don't want to set that yet.
Not yet.
But when we go to do that, we would not be required to do a resolution to change the location of that meeting because it's in charting. It's just that we would have to schedule that meeting and then just do a formal action to schedule it at that location.
Yes, and I think Commissioner Brakey, for that, it was going to be session, ribbon cutting, and then public open house is what we were working on for you.
The next page is for the boards that you as commissioners sit on, and that includes like ADP, Board of Revision, Community Corrections, Courthouse Security Advisory, Family First, Agricultural Society is all three of you. Geauga Trumbull Solid Waste Board of Directors is all three of you. Policy, Health District Advisory Board, Investment Advisory, NOACA, NACOG, Planning Commission, and how you want to handle alternates for the three of you for this year, and then revolving loan and local revolving loan for community development, and that is a 2-year appointment. So I know that at the request of Ms. Brakey, I compiled the spreadsheet for all of you for attendance for the last 5 years of all of those. That was previously sent to you for your review. I know that NOACA is holding a later meeting than normal this year to discuss makeup of the.
Yeah, they have a special meeting.
And so
early in January.
So typically what we set at our org meeting is usually what is set in stone for all of you. But based on that later meeting after ours, we will probably have to make some adjustments at our next meeting then to update whatever is necessary based on the changes that they make.
Okay. So your suggestion though is we still lock it up at the org meeting and then we just, okay.
Correct, because we still need to take action as it stands, and until they change their regulations or whatnot for board makeup, we just have to move forward as it currently stands. And then we can always go back and make adjustments as necessary.
Okay.
Now, the two items that are on here also is to appoint for Board of Revision. We typically do a primary and an alternate, but as we have found in the past years, we've added the third commissioner and either the county administrator or the deputy county administrator as an additional alternate, just based on how things have been for Board of Revision and also for the ADP board. So that's on here as well. And then I have highlighted, and I know Nick is still here as well, because we kind of talked about this yesterday, is the NOACA Water Quality Committee with an alternate for next year, and then the Air Quality and BPAC committees for 2026. So I just need to know it. What does BPAC stand for?
Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Council.
Bicycle pedestrian.
Good.
So we just have to kind of work
So do we just
through.
need to go through this list of ADP, et cetera?
Yes, if you want to throw some things out there, idea-wise, again, this isn't a vote, but I can kind of like then get an idea of what we're looking at for next year.
Well, the first two items, it's historically, we rotate president and vice president every 2 years. So just wanted to point that out.
Does that mean you want to serve again, Commissioner Dvorak, as president?
Yes. You know, just keep the 2-year rotation,
Yeah. I
as
think that
always.
makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, so then for ADP board and board of revision,
Commissioner Spitaleri, I don't know how you feel about this, but I kind of think you should serve on the ADP board.
I don't care.
Because I think you've brought up a lot of points about it, this year and in the past, and perhaps it makes sense for you to be on that board
Sure.
and get up in front of some of those issues that you identify.
we also need an alternate for that then.
I can be the alternate.
And then board of revision?
I'm comfortable doing it.
I mean, I can do it, or Ralph, if you want to, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Whatever you guys like to do.
I can be the alternate on that one too.
Okay.
I think Ralph is.
Ralph, do you usually take that?
Yeah.
He's currently primary. I just need an alternate.
I'll be the alternate.
How are those meetings advertised?
Community corrections?
Yeah.
I think Nicole sends out a notice to the board members, but I'm not sure, like, how externally it gets done. I know that this last round, she sent it directly to all the board members, but I asked her to copy me on it. And then I reached out to Ralph, and he actually went to the last board meeting because we actually got notice of it.
Well, that's what I was wondering if it was, because I noticed like we haven't had a primary or an alternate on that board, so I just didn't know if there was like a communication issue there.
Yeah, I think there was on their side of it. And the other one is the Courthouse Security Advisory Committee, that the president is typically the primary, and then there's an alternate. When I reached out to Judge Paschke, she said that board itself hasn't been overly active, but now with the new changes to the courthouse, that she plans to make sure that it gets going again going forward. So we would just need an alternate for the courthouse security.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Commissioner Spitaleri, do you want to be the alternate? Yeah, I think that probably makes more sense. I'm not as knowledgeable about that as he'd probably be.
And then family first.
I can do that again.
I can be the alternate for that.
Ag Society is all of you. Policy for Geauga Trumbull solid waste typically is the president is the primary. Are you going to select an alternate for yourself and then have an alternate commissioner?
I think Adam Lidke.
He's your alternate, but then we also have to have another board member as an alternate.
Okay.
And then I'll do the action for Adam.
Ralph, you want to be the first alternate for Trumbull?
Yeah, that's fine. That's easy.
Okay.
That's the policy committee. The board of directors is all three of you. Health district advisory, typical, the president is the primary. We just need an alternate.
All right, I could take that one if you want, John.
What's that?
The HDAC Health District Advisory.
Okay, and I can be the alternate.
Because I've been off that board now a year.
Investment advisory.
I don't want that. You know, other two can take it.
And then your NOACA alternates.
I'm guessing that would stay the same until things are changed at the NOACA special meeting.
Okay.
Well, but we
Yes.
don't know if that's gonna pass or not.
Correct. So I just need to know who your alternate you would like to be as for next year at this current time.
I'll pick Shane again.
And Andy Hop at this time.
You skip.
I don't think Mr. Claypool is an appropriate choice.
It's not your choice, though.
Well,
It's my choice to who I want as a representative there.
but we vote.
Yeah, but under the guidelines of NOACA, I get to choose who I want representing me.
Okay. I think that he is a liability to the county by being on that board.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion, but that's who I choose as my alternate.
I mean, there's documented misconduct of him towards women on that board. And I think we are exposing ourselves to liability by continuing to have him on that board.
NOACA is next.
Okay.
And I know, Jim, you expressed to me that you would like to be not on that board
Well.
this year.
I've been on that since I become commissioner. Ralph, do you have any interest of being a NOGCOG point person?
Not really, if you don't want it, though.
I don't even know what it stands for. That's with the different counties, right? Is that with Ashtabula?
Yeah, it used to be GAP, so it used to be Geauga Ashtabula Portage Partnership, and now
Oh.
it's still the same counties, it's just now a council of government.
I'll do it if you want to be my alternate.
Yeah, I can be your alternate. Where do they hold those meetings?
Here.
Oh,
One meeting, it's a meeting a month, and one meeting annually is in Portage, and one meeting annually is in Ashtabula County. But
The rest of you.
10 are here, right here.
Planning Commission Board is all three of you. You appointed alternates last year for yourself. If you want to continue to do that again for next year, let me know, and then we can add your alternates on here as well.
This gives me a week to call my alternate and see if he's still interested.
And then the revolving loan and local revolving loan, it's a 2-year appointment for 2 commissioners to sit on.
who's on that now?
I believe it was Jim and Ralph.
I was like, I don't know anything about those meetings.
They're not held very often, they're only held when needed.
Yeah, when needed. Yeah. I'll stay on there if that's okay. People are comfortable.
I just need this.
I'll do an alternate on it again.
And so then ADP will roll and Board of Revision will roll. Now, do you want to do county administrator or do you want to do deputy county administrator as the 4th alternate on ADP and Board of Revision?
Amy, do you have a preference on that?
No.
Mark, do you
No preference?
Yeah, I mean, what works best for the office? Not that either one of you would have to do it very often.
Right.
No, I mean, I could take Board of Revision. Either one is fine.
Okay.
Do you want to do 1 and 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing about Board of Revision, Amy, is that those meetings are sometimes very long.
Okay.
Like, it's like half a day.
Okay.
Just to, so you know. I mean, that's just kind of a long time for you to be
Yeah,
out of
maybe
the
ADP
office.
is more appropriate then. Okay.
That would be my
All right,
suggestion.
I'll do ADP.
If
Okay.
you take one and Mark
Sure.
takes the other, I would put Mark on
Okay.
the Board of Revision. I mean, sometimes those meetings are 10 minutes long, but
Okay.
sometimes they're
Just don't know.
they're pretty extensive.
Okay, thank you for that background.
And I make at least 99% of the Board of Revisions meetings.
Okay.
So
Yeah, they're fun though. I do like those.
And then the next one on here is the water quality. Last year you had Nick and Carmela as the alternate for water quality, and then the air quality and bicycle pedestrian advisory.
I'm comfortable with staying the same.
Okay.
You guys okay?
Yeah, you're good with that, Nick? Okay.
And then the staff appointments for next year is Amy as county administrator, Mark as deputy county administrator, myself if you keep me as your clerk, and then your director of positions for aging, community development, building official. That has to be changed to EMA.
Good catch.
Job and Family Services, maintenance, water resources, sanitary engineer, and dog warden.
Do we have to like do that every year where we reappoint? It's not, we can't just like auto renew everybody unless we have an objection. Okay.
No, I know that some elected officials have done like their staff like by their term, but because we have a split change, that typically it's always been done annually.
Yeah, I just know that that's kind of stressful for staff potentially, so if we're not making changes, it seems unnecessary.
It's like a 12-month contract that you keep the people on. And
I mean, they're all at will though anyway, so it's not a 12-month contract,
True.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
it's different than construction. You have to prove yourself every minute of every day. So.
No, it's the same thing.
Yes, it is. We're always on probation.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a way to look at it. And then this year, we're adding the acting county administrator. With the new deputy county administrator, we're adding the action to appoint Mark as the acting county administrator in the event that Amy isn't here. And then the acting clerk is the same way, that if for some reason I'm not here, then Debbie and then the county administrator would fill in if Debbie's not here.
Is Debbie trained to fill in his I mean, not to ask a secret question.
Yes.
but, okay.
When 12 years ago, when I had my first child, Debbie was actually brought in as a temporary to the county for when I was out.
Okay.
And then when I came back, then we decided to advertise, and then she was hired, and she's been here since. So, yes.
She's been here for 12 years.
Almost 15 years. And then the next one on here is the delegated powers to the county administrator. That's the resolution that authorizes Amy to act under the direction of the board. I added the employee application acknowledgement form for the credit cards, which we did as a separate action last year. I added that to the list on the credit cards. And then we changed the existing positions to include organizational charts. If we're changing like a title on an existing job. If it's a new position, then it has to still come before the board and make those changes. I think those were the only two significant changes that we made. Everything else I think remained the same. And then the next one is the agreement for the county engineer to perform the drainage duties set forth in Chapter 6117 between the commissioners and the engineer for the year 2026, and then setting that compensation based on his annual salary for the biweekly rates, beginning with the first pay number 2. And then prevailing wage coordinators for 26. Previous years has been Mr. Goris and Mr. Hajar. I'm assuming that you want to keep those the same.
I'm comfortable with that.
Nick, are you willing to take that on again? And then I have the apiarist for the county to reappoint Mr. Dinashak. He was new last year as our county apiarist. I think he did a great job for us last year as our new apiarist. He sent me an update that I shared with all of you on the number of hives that he had done, which was great compared to previous years where we weren't really seeing that, so.
So 2 years ago, there were no hives inspected, his report indicated. So that was because there wasn't,
We had an apiarist.
we did have somebody.
We had an apiarist, and he was performing work, but apparently not, the state did not acknowledge his inspections on the list. And when I questioned that, there was some back and forth with the state with the previous apiary, and the state said that we needed to look at getting a new one and helped us advertise to get a replacement for our previous one. And they have to go through a state training, and the state, whether you appoint them, but then the state has to approve that appointment on the state side. And then they submit all of their reports to the state, and then the state submits their reimbursements to us for reimbursement to them. They act as like a independent contractor.
So does the state end up paying for it, or do we? Okay.
We pay for it through county funds. They just have to, we have to do the appropriation.
Yeah.
But the state has to approve what they're submitting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a relatively small amount, obviously, that we're paying for that. But I mean, what I've read is that we don't need to appoint somebody, and then the state will appoint it, and then they'll pay for the person. For $1,500, it's probably not worth the hassle, but that is an option we could take if we wanted to.
Yeah, it seems to be like some of them are contracted, some of them are appointed. They do it's all over the place with all the counties throughout the state. That I learned 2 years ago when we were going through that process. So, I'm still waiting for the IRS mileage rate for 2026. 25 was at 70 cents. The reports that I'm seeing, it's either going up 2 cents or down 2 cents. So either it's going to go to 72 or it's going to drop to 68. And the IRS has not posted the official mileage rate for 26 yet on their site. Yeah. So until I have that, every time I go to the IRS site, it still says 25. So they haven't formally updated that. There's rumors out there, but until I actually see it on the IRS site, I don't know what that rate will
When
be.
do they typically handle that?
It's usually done already.
Okay.
So I'm hoping maybe today it will populate, so we have that for next year, for next week. And then credit cards has not changed. We're still going back and forth with the auditor's office, the prosecutor's office on some changes that we would like to see. They have to agree to those changes, and then the board would have to formally adopt those changes in the policy. So right now, as it stands, we're still moving forward with as the current policy as it was adopted effective January 1st of 25. And so the resolution approving the credit cards for next year with the Exhibit A, which will get updated once I have all of them. They're still coming in.
So with the proposed policy, would that allow us to not make 700 motions about credit cards throughout the year?
No, you're still going to have to approve changes. Yeah, because as people leave and as you add people, that still has to get populated and that application has to get on file with the auditor's office.
And we really can't just hand that off to Amy? No.
Not the application.
Okay.
So the resolution and the application still have to be signed. One of the things that Adrian would like to see is the removal of the certificate of estimated use. And that's the one that all of you have to sign additionally in addition to the president signing that application. So that is still being worked out, but as of right now, we're still moving forward as it stands. So that is all I have on my list. I know I've streamlined it as much as I could possibly do since I started. When I started, it was like 8 pages long. We handled most of the board appointments that were necessary. There's one that you'll see on the agenda for next week, which is Family Services Planning Committee that has to be reappointed. And that's the statutorily one that we talked about with Craig. So if there's any other questions for reorg? No? All right, then I will move us out of the work session at 10:20.
Okay.
changes can be made between now and then. Will be, kind of outlaid, but we'll formally approve all of that next week.
I do not have any items for number 29, board discussion, unless you do, commissioners.
I just want to add one thing. In talking with Mr. Rowan this morning, Ashtabula County is looking at extending their agreement with us for at least the first quarter for next year for prisoner housing. So just so you are all aware of that we'll be working on that and getting that before you. The current amendment goes through the end of the year, so we're trying to work on getting that.
So their jail hasn't been complete, in other words, I assume that's what's going on. Okay.
Have they started the job?
I know.
Okay.
I know I got an email this morning from Sheriff Nemi asking if we could extend it till the end of March.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, I just got an email back from him, I think they're going to hear theirs, it's going to their commissioners, like, next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know they're adding on to their, current jail, and then when I talk to the commissioners, they need parking, so they're thinking about buying a house or two that's real close to the job site. So there's constant planning. So.
Yeah, third clerk emailed me when we were out last week, and when I sent it back to her on Monday morning, she's out. So, and then Mr. Owen messaged me this morning, so we're going to try to coordinate with their assistant to try to get things in place to get it before them for next week.
Sure.
So,
Are we currently housing prisoners from Ashtabula?
I think we have one in there today.
Okay, so you're kicking them out on the 30th, we don't have a contract?
Well, yeah, they're expired, so, we don't want to stiff us, I think they've been, our jail communicates with their jail, and what we typically, we're trying to stay caught up with them, so, I haven't seen anything this week. It's the holiday season, so maybe they're giving people holidays in the jail.
Okay. 30.
Yes, item number 30, public comment. Those wishing to make a comment or ask a question on matters of concern, please raise your hand to be called upon. Begin by stating your full name and address, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment or ask a question, and are kindly asked to refrain from disorderly or disruptive conduct. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody have a happy new year, and looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
do a second. All in favor?